Hi everyone, how are you? Okay, so I hope you're all having a great day and great week. Our lesson for today is about calculating and interpreting correlation between variables. So yung recorded lecture natin for today ay continuation ng recorded lecture natin last session or previously, okay? So sige, quick recap muna tayo. From last session, napag-aralan natin yung mean, yung mode, yung median. Also, pinag-aralan din natin yung range and yung variance, no, which you can use to study your raw data or to assess more your raw data and give an initial interpretation regarding dun sa results na nakuha natin. So, sinimulan din natin last session yung pag-aaral ng hypothesis testing results na bigyan natin ng uh, overview, background, yung t-test and z-test. For our session today naman ay itutuloy natin ang pag-aaral ng iba't ibang tools na pwede ninyo magamit sa pag-test ng inyong hypothesis. Okay? So that alam ninyo or malaman ninyo kung ano bang tools yung fit or pwede ninyong gamitin doon sa research ninyo. Okay? So, magbibigay ako sa GCR natin ng mga tutorials regarding sa iba't ibang statistical tools na pwede ninyong gamitin. So, kung ano yung fit doon sa study ninyo na gamitin nyo, check nyo lang doon sa GCR natin under Statistical Tools tutorials para makita nyo kung paano siya ini-input. Magbibigay ako kung paano siya i-input sa Excel or sa G-Sheets, Google Sheets, so that kung saan kayo mas comfortable gumamit ay pwede nyong gamitin para mas madali nyo din ma-interpret yung data ninyo. Okay? So, sige, let's start our discussion for today under calculating and interpreting correlation between variables. The objectives for this one is to learn to apply chi-square to different values. Okay. So chi-square test is used to determine whether there is a statistical significant relationship between the expected frequencies and the observed frequencies in one or more categories of a contingency table. So this technique is useful method of comparing experimental obtained results with those to be expected theoretically of some results. Okay? So ang chi-square, ginagamit natin siya kapag nagko-compare tayo ng mga observed data natin, 'di ba? Yung mga collected data from survey research o kaya naman from observation. Ang keyword dito sa chi-square ay yung significant relationship between expected frequency and the observed frequency. Okay? So ibig sabihin nun, meron ka ng data predicted. Sa chi-square, ginagamit natin siya kapag kino-compare natin yung data collected versus the data predicted. So, ibig sabihin, meron kang pinoprove, ba? You're proving a probability, you're proving a claim, or you're proving a prediction. Doon natin ginagamit yung chi-square. So, sige, para mas malinaw. Example, yung isang school, gusto mong pag-aralan, gusto mong i-prove na equal yung numbers ng boys and girls. So, yun yung gusto mong i-prove. With that, may initial data ka na, 'di ba? Or may data predicted ka na equal yung mag-enroll or yung nag-aaral sa school na yun. Equal yung number of girls, and equal yung number of boys. Ngayon, gusto mong i-prove kung totoo ba na equal nga yung number of girls and boys na nag-aaral dun sa school na yon. So, that's when you use chi-square. Okay? So, kung nakita nyo doon sa example, meron ng probability, meron ng claim. So, you want to compare yung data na makokollect mo versus dun sa data na na-predict mo. Okay? So, that's when you use chi-square. Chi-square test also is used when you have two categorical variables that you want to examine. So, kanina, ang example nun, gender, di ba? Male and female. Sabi, categorical variables. Ano pa bang example ng categorical variables? Example, yung age group, yung gender, educational level, yung hair color, yan. So, yan yung mga example ng categorical square natin. Okay? Basta yun ang palatandaan mo. You want to compare a data collected from data predicted. Kapag ganoon, ang flow ng iyong study, ang gagamitin natin ay chi-square test. Okay, malinaw ba? Sige, baka may nalalabuan pa. Another example is you want to prove na yung laman ng isang pack ng M&Ms ay may 30% color brown, yung coat ng chocolate, 30% brown coat, tapos yung 20% ay color blue, yung 30, 20, 40% ay color pink, and yung 10% ay color yellow. So, kung makikita nyo, may data predicted na tayo. So, you want to prove yung data predicted natin kung tama. And that's when you will conduct a chi-square. Kasi magkakaroon ka naman ng data collected from that. Okay? So, yon. Yun yung chi-square natin. Then, uses of chi-square. Ito yung symbol niya. First is to determine the relationship or with no relationship. Like what I have mentioned kanina, you have data collected and data predicted. You want to prove if um may relationship ba sila or walang relationship. Kung tama ba yung data predicted or kung mali ba yung data predicted. Another one is to test the hypothesis of independence. So when to use chi-square test? When data are categorized or could be categorized into two or more categories. So this statistical treatment cannot be used unless raw scores are converted frequencies of different categories. So naka-frequency siya. Remember, ang chine-check natin dito yung mga categorical variables. Okay? So, ito yung kanyang formula where FO is the frequency, is the observed frequency, FE is the expected frequency, and then chi, ito yung value of chi squared nandito. This one, summation ang ibig sabihin ng ganitong symbol. Okay? So, ito yan. Sa GCR natin, meron akong pinost na tutorial kung paano input and mag-perform ng chi-square formula sa Excel and sa G-Sheets. Kung chi-square ang gagamitin niyo, um, check nyo sa GCR natin kung paano gumamit ng chi-square. Okay? So remember, chi-square is about comparing your data collected from your data predicted. And now let's move on with ANOVA. ANOVA is short for analysis of variance. Okay? Analysis of variance or ANOVA is used to determine whether there is any statistically significant differences between the means of two or more independent or unrelated groups, although you tend to only see it used when there are a minimum of three rather than two groups. So, analysis of variance is a collection of statistical models and their associated estimation procedures, such as the variation among the between groups. So, analysis of variance is used to analyze the differences among group means in a sample. So, ano yun? Yung analysis of variance, ginagamit natin siya to check if the means of two or more groups are significantly different from one another. So, yan. Means of two or more independent groups. So, variation among or between groups. The differences among groups. Okay? So, specifically, gumagamit tayo ng ANOVA if we are interested in determining whether the differences exist between the population means. So, ano ibig sabihin nun? Meron kang group of samples, okay, na gusto mong pag-aralan. Doon tayo gumagamit ng ANOVA. Example, if you want to study or if you want to test if there is a difference between the working styles of the baby boomers, millennials, and Gen Z, gagamit ka doon ng analysis of variance or ng ANOVA. Kung mapapansin nyo doon sa example, merong kang tatlong samples, may tatlong grupo ka, and gusto mong pag-aralan, ang pag-aaralan mo ay yung variation or yung differences, kung meron bang differences between doon sa tatlong grupo na yon. So, doon tayo gumagamit ng ANOVA or ng analysis of variance. Okay? So, there's a measurement or of more than two or more groups. Yung variation nila. Pag-aaralan mo yung mga grupo na yon, may tatlo kang two or more groups, depende dun sa study, and then pag-aaralan mo sila. And yung differences ba nila or yung variation nila among each other. So, yun yung ANOVA. Okay? Clear ba tayo doon? And then, Next, we have computing linear relationship using Pearson R correlation coefficient. So, correlation coefficient are used in statistics to measure how strong a relationship is between two variables. So, relationship, we're studying about or ginagamit ang correlation coefficient kapag pinag-aaralan ang relationship between two variables. Pearson product moment coefficient of correlation R is a correlation coefficient commonly used in linear regression. So, Pearson's correlations or yung tinatawag nating Pearson's R is the most widely used measure of linear correlation between two variables. So this is the index of relationship between two variables. The dependent variable can be represented by x, while the dependent variable can also be represented by y. Okay? So sa Pearson's R correlation, ang pinag-aaralan natin ay yung relationship between two variables. Kung gaano ba ka-strong yung relationship ng dalawang variables. Okay? So it analyzes the relationship between the variables. So sa pamamagitan ng Pearson R, pwede nating ma-determine or malaman kung gaano ba ka-strong yung correlation ng mga variables natin. And also kung saan ba papunta yung direction ng correlation na yon. Okay? So, yun yung palatandaan. Correlation. Relationship. If ang study mo ay about correlation ng mga variables, relationship ng mga variables, comparison between the variables, ang gagamitin mo ay Pearson R. Okay? Pearson R correlation. So, example ng study na gumagamit ng Pearson R, if you want to study the correlation between the age and the salary of the Filipino population. So, yun. Gagamit ka ng Pearson R kasi gusto mong makita yung correlation ng age and salary sa Filipino population. May correlation, may relationship, tawag dito, yeah, may relationship. Okay? So, ito ang formula ng Pearson's product moment coefficient of correlation or yung Pearson R natin. R represents Pearson's product moment coefficient of correlation. X is the observed data for the independent variable. Y is the observed data for the dependent variable. Summation of x, y, the summation of the product of x and y. Summation of x and summation of y, the product of the summation of x and the summation of y. Summation of x squared, summation of the squares of x, and summation of y squared. So, yan. Ito ang formula niyan. Hindi na kayo maglo-long method kasi mahaba siya. So, sa GCR natin, meron na kayong mga tutorials doon kung anong gagamitin niyo. Pipili na lang kayo kung ano yung fit doon sa study ninyo. Okay? And then, yan. So, Pearson's product moment coefficient of correlation R. A correlation coefficient of 1 means that for every positive increase in one variable, there is a positive increase of a fixed proportion in the other. So, example nun, yung shoe size, di ba? Kapag tumaas yung shoe size, may correlation yun dun sa foot length. 'Di ba? 'Pag lumaki yung shoe size, may correlation siya dun sa foot length. So, may positive correlation, ibig sabihin nun. So, a correlation coefficient of -1 means that for every positive increase in one variable, there is a negative decrease of a fixed proportion in the other. So, for example, the amount of gas tank decreased in almost perfect correlation with spin. 'Di ba? And then 0 means that for every increase, there isn't a positive or negative increase. So the two just aren't related. Makikita natin to sa ating scattered diagram. Papakita ko later. So here for person R, the results of R should be interpreted as the following. So, meron na siyang ano din dito, interpretation, value of R and then interpretation. Kung ang results ng naging kung ang results na nakuha nyo ay papasok dito sa range na to, then that means may high correlation and the others. Okay? I think most of the groups ay gagamit ng correlation based on their study. Okay, so yan. So ito siya. Ito yung scattered diagram, scattered graph. Kung naaalala nyo, part ito ng ating lesson last session. Okay? So, ayan. So, pinag-aaralan natin yung correlation. So, kung dito mapapansin nyo, meron siyang strong positive correlation kasi magkakalapit lang yung mga values. Okay? And here, may weak positive correlation kasi malaking spaces. Magkakalayo siya. And here, we have strong negative correlation. Pag ganito, ang negative correlation, magkakalapit din siya. Okay, we have weak negative correlation also. Kung makikita nyo, yung pagkakalayo ng mga values. We have moderate negative correlation here. And then no correlation, to yung zero at all. Hindi siya related at all. Okay? So, ito yung example ng diagram na mag-show ng results. Okay? So, yes. Clear ba? Sige, bigyan ko kayo or may nalilito pa sa paggamit ng tatlo. Um, quick recap. Sige, chi-square, again, when you're studying a comparison of a data collected from a data predicted. Kapag ANOVA, when you're studying the difference between two or more groups. Okay? And then for Pearson R, when you're studying the relationship between the variables. Okay? Two variables. For the comparison, yan, gagamit kayo ng Pearson R for that. Okay? So, kung ano man yung test or tools na tawag dito, fit dun sa study nyo, panoodin nyo yung tutorial sa GCR natin kung paano siya ginagawa. And then here, 5 steps procedure for testing a hypothesis. First is state null and alternate hypothesis. And then select a level of significance, 0.05. And then identify the test statistics, kung ano yung gagamitin yung statistical test or tools. And then formulate a decision rule and then take a sample, arrive at decision if you will reject the HO or accept H1. Reject HO. Okay? So, there. Yes. Sige. Check nyo na lang sa GCR yung iba't ibang tools or tutorial para makita nyo rin kung paano ba siya ini-input sa Excel and sa Google Sheets. Kung mapapanood nyo yung mga tutorials, mas madali siya sa Google Sheet gawin. Okay? But yeah, kung saan naman kayo comfortable. Okay, so that's our lesson for today. If you have any questions, clarifications, or queries, you can message me sa ating group chat or sa aking messenger. Okay? So, yes, have a great day, everyone. Bye!